Adele porde boise dembala. Adele porde boise dembala. Adele porde boise dembala. Adele porde boise dembala. What's up, guys? We're Morbid Curiosities bringing you another episode. I'm Nicholas Ewers, and with me is the lightweight champion of the world, the morbid mistress of mayhem.
Mercedes Martinez. Crap. I need to get back to your cool name that I came up for you, but I
The
don't know.
intro just captured you so
It
much. You're like,
it
wow,
did. It
is
did. I
Nick gonna
thought
turn into this Groot doll that he has next to him? I do
I
have a
mean,
Groot doll next to me.
oh nice. No, very, very captivated by that. Um yeah, so your name, we had talked about this before. Let me get ready. The nefarious nomad, the numbing nightmare, your next door necromancer, Nicholas Ewers. Otherwise, I could have called you the noodle, the nifty
Ah,
noodle, the nifty noodle. I should have I
oh,
should have stuck with that.
gross.
Well, I
Oh, I
mean,
don't.
I updated it. I made it better. We improved here.
I like the next door necromancer. That's my favorite.
Mhm.
Um, I for some reason I thought you were gonna say the next door necrophiliac. I was like, please don't say that. Um,
That's why I was nervous to say it because I'm like, watch I say the wrong word and that's gonna throw it off entirely. So I was so nervous to say that, but I made sure that was the right one.
you just completely offend me. It's like, well, I don't remember that in dress rehearsal.
I know. No, watch. One day I'll say that on mic and I'll say the wrong word. And whoops, here we are.
It'll happen. I say
It
the
will.
wrong thing all the time. Um,
Same. Me too. It's bad. I make people cry a lot.
listening back to the Child's Play episode, I think that's the one it is. I guess I mentioned Gina Gershon being in Bride of Chucky. That's not even the correct actress. Maybe I'm relitigating this from Child's Play too, but yeah, God, that's so embarrassing. Listeners, like, oh man, I just had to eat that one. I couldn't edit it out and have it make sense still.
It's okay. We're doing this podcast to be subjective, to talk about our opinions, our experiences with these movies. We are at least trying to get the date of the movie and the director right. Um, you know, the actors and actresses, we can just at least call them by their name in the movie, and then we'd be good.
Yeah,
We're
also
not
it's a movie.
overachievers here.
Yeah, and it's a movie I haven't seen. I just got confident. I was like, I'm pretty sure this actress is in Bride of Chucky, which I'm like super excited to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about Child's Play 3. Real quick, I just want to say you're listening to this on St. Patrick's Day. Shout out to the Irish. I, um,
Now you got to
I
do an Irish accent.
I was about to. I couldn't
Oh.
find it in my tongue, and I didn't want to fall flat on my face. I was like trying to form it. Um, it's a very hard accent to pull off. It's very difficult. But
If it comes to you, let it flow.
I will. I mean, Chucky's a redhead. This is a very Irish movie, if you ask me. So Child's Play 3 specifically just speaks Irish. So thank God you guys are getting it today. Also, it's my nephew's birthday.
Woo.
Shout out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say his name on the podcast, so I almost said it, but shout out to my nephew.
Woo.
You'll know this if you're hearing it. Child's Play
Woo.
3, your favorite movie, I'm sure. right right behind Cars and the Paw Patrol movie is Child's Play 3. He's always talking about Child's Play 3. I think all the kids can't stop talking about Child's Play 3. Um
I, I
It's the
think
most
you
anyone's ever
couldn't
said
stop
that
talking
name.
about it. You were just prepping yourself because the other 2 episodes you kept calling Chucky Charles, and what do you know, that's pretty much what he's referred to in this movie as.
So, spoilers ahead for Child's Play 3. Um, you already alluded to that over the course of these past 2 Chucky movies. And gotta say, again, spoilers, gotta say, not a fan of Tyler stealing my bit. I I think I'd do it better. Um,
Do you really
Listeners,
though?
Mercedes, you guys judge. Yes, I do. I have all the panache and cuteness and charm of this little boy. You know, I feel like I did it better than him. I pulled it off.
If you believe that, I believe in you.
He's pretty obnoxious.
Oh yeah, he is. He's definitely I don't know. I'm not a fan of his character, but I'm not a fan of anyone in this movie except 2. So, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. I hate this movie. It is one of the movies in this franchise that I hate. There's a few other ones I don't like, but I fucking hate this movie. There's just nothing to latch onto with this. Even in the documentary, like Cult of Chucky or what I forgot it what the name of
oh,
it is.
Doc of Chucky.
Doc of Chucky. Oh yeah, Cult of
Yeah.
Chucky is actually one of the movies. But
That would be funny if it was a documentary.
I know. But they were even talking about how um who was it, the writers or director, they were saying they felt like they drained out the story between Andy and Chucky, so they wanted to take a new route, which doesn't make sense because they snagged a different actor to play Andy and then he's in a military school. So essentially they are following him, but they bring in a different character, your favorite Tyler, and um
Got a new
I'm
kid to
sorry.
pick on.
Yes, exactly. um, but yeah, so it's the same premise in a way. It's I don't know. This one is boring. They could have gone so many different ways, but I don't know. I what did you not like or even like about this film?
Yeah, you're assuming I didn't like this. What's with that? What if this is my favorite movie of all time now?
Because I guarantee it's not. If you were to pick between this one and Jurassic Park, which one would you pick?
This one, Jurassic Park's not my favorite movie,
But
but
between those two, which one would you pick?
oh man, Jurassic Park. I
Exactly. So this one is not your favorite movie of all
I
time.
mean, I would put
Point
Jurassic
proven.
Park.
Point proven.
Jurassic, Jurassic Park 3 is light years ahead of this fucking just. I almost called it a dumpster fire, but there's not enough going on in this movie to call it a dumpster fire. It's like such a
Mhm.
low effort attempt at a sequel. It came out 9 months, I want to say, after Child's Play 2.
Mhm.
1991 to 1990 or 1990 to 1991, I think, are the
Mhm.
2 years.
Mhm.
It was just rushed out by Universal, and everything about this feels rushed. It feels just low effort all around. It's pretty boring. Like there's not a lot to chew on. The stuff involving Charles isn't even that interesting. His kills, he just lacks motivation. We'll get into that a bit more, but yeah, I'm not a fan of Child's Play 3. I'm really looking for Bride of Chucky to redeem this thing. I'm hoping Bride of Chucky seems like a movie that's at least like doing stuff. Like the excitement for Bride of Chucky pushed me to watch Frankenstein today, and I'm gonna watch Bride of Frankenstein after Bride of Chucky just to see if there's any kind of relationship or relation to each other. And even if there's not, fuck, man, watching Frankenstein was like a breath of fresh air compared to Child's Play 3. Like, I watched
Mhm.
both of them back to back today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See it. See, I was right in that whole conversation. All you had to say was Mercedes. You know what? You're right. Was that so hard, Nicholas?
Instead of saying the past 2 minutes of stuff I just said.
Yes, exactly. um, but yeah, this movie, you follow Andy, he's going into a military school. I do like that aspect. I do. Just because I like military lifestyle. Um, most of it anyway. But again, the storyline is boring. All the characters that are introduced in here, you don't care about them at all. At least when Andy was played by Alex Vincent in the first two, you grew to love his character from the moment that he made that amazing delicious breakfast for his mother, the one that you dream to have
Delicious.
every single day. Yes. To where he became, siblings buds with Kyle in the second one. You love the kid. You
Mhm.
love his voice. He's adorable. You love his mom, Karen. Kyle, she's a badass. And here you don't really like anyone except Chucky, just because he's Chucky and voiced by Brad Dourif. But then you also get the cool character of Shelton or Sheldon, however they pronounce his name. Um, I was pronouncing it Sheldon, like with a D, and then I saw that it was spelled with a T. So,
Shelton.
oops, Shelton. It,
Shelton.
it sounds weird when you say Shelton. Sheldon
Yeah.
sounds better, but okay.
He
Yes, Colonel Shelton.
young Sheldon. Um yeah, the the choice for it to be a teenage Andy, I don't think really worked for me at all. If you were gonna go in a different direction, I would say just go with a completely different kid if you felt like you exhausted this version
Right.
of Andy. The movie's called Child's Play, and the first two work best, I think, when it's operating as like you're fearful for th- this kid. Like he can't defend himself like these adults can, and these adults are getting taken down left and right. You're fearful for the kid, but then you're also like, what kind of home alone trap could this kid set up or something, like in
Hmm.
Child's Play 2 when they're in the factory. Like it's fun. There's a lot of antics that go on with these two movies given the locations and given the age of the protagonist that we're dealing with. And this movie loses both of those. It's one location. I don't know if that was just because it was easier to write. It feels odd to me. It just feels like lazy. Like we're going to set this at one location, whereas the first Child's Play is hopping around all over the place. Same with Child's Play 2. And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's much of a threat when there's a lot of adults with weapons around them. Like they're in a
Hmm.
place where you could Chucky feels more like he's kind of in danger at this military school than the actual people there. I mean, Chucky fails at killing people a couple times in this movie.
True. He's even, getting lipstick put on him. He's getting bullied into that. So I don't know. I will always love Chucky in every movie, but even his character in here, they were trying to be funny more so with his one-liners instead of him being scary, or at least, having that slasher effect that he did in the first and the second one. So, yeah, I'll they really did not need to go this route. And I feel like they did rush it. Well, obviously they rushed it, but yeah, they were trying to keep it in one. filming location, and then at the end they ended up going into the woods for their what was it, their paintball game or whatever, and
Yeah,
then
or capture the flag.
yeah, that. So they were doing that, and then they show a glimpse of the carnival, and that's where that whole scene even ends too, which was strange.
Is
I
the
don't
carnival
like.
even set up?
Yeah, it was set up. It
Okay.
was yeah, it was in motion already. All the everyone who was in that town, they were all there. Um,
I meant, like, plot-wise, did they mention the
oh
carnival at any point
no,
before they got it was just there, right?
yeah, De Silva takes Andy over there and like, oh, let me show you something. They have this every year. Okay,
You
why is that important?
you'd think it would be easy to drop a line like, "Hey, there's going to be a carnival in town," or something, so it would make a little bit more sense, and so it would feel like, "Oh, we're at the carnival, like, this is the setup, like, characters were talking about this, now we're
Right,
here," like, make it feel like it would be bad for this situation to break out at a carnival, not just, "Oh, now we're at a carnival now." It seems like they didn't really put any thought into it. They do have a callback that I noticed on my 3rd watch of this movie. Um,
third time's a charm.
yeah.
Child's Play 3.
Yeah, exactly. Oddly enough, I watched it without volume the 3rd time. I was working, but, the Andy's shitty aim, they call back to it at the very end when he's shooting at Chucky and still has shitty aim for most of the shots.
Mhm.
And I was just like, "Oh, wow, this movie actually has a callback in it." Like, that
Right.
caught me so off guard. I'm like, "Oh, it's functioning as a conventional movie." Oh, that
Mhm.
good for this movie, Jack Bender, good for him.
The
I think he
one
was a
part that was good.
yeah, I think he was a TV filmmaker, this Jack Bender guy.
Okay. Yeah, so that good detail and Colonel Sheldon. Those are the only redeeming qualities of this movie.
Yeah, Sheldon is, the strongest part, played by the actor Sheldon or, played by the actor Travis Fiennes, that's his name. Um, did you watch, his part of the Doc of Chucky?
I did, and I rewatched it because I saw your notes, and I did not know any of that. I guess the first time I watched the Doc of Chucky, I fell asleep during that part, or I don't know, maybe wasn't paying attention because Child's Play 3 sucks. But yeah, I did not know that he played his role as a bisexual man. Um,
Yeah,
that
Travis Fiennes is bisexual in,
right,
real life, and so he
right.
plays this character as bisexual, and it reads that way, doesn't it?
I have to I don't know. I'm half and half on it. What well, first you tell me how you see it.
Oh, I fully just picked up on, like, the homoerotic nature, um of, like, their interaction his interactions with Andy, and even, like, the guy who psychotically stares at Andy. I mean, there is, kind of, like, something naturally, like, uh, homoerotic to a bunch of men doing all these physical activities together, like, they say that about things like this or, like, wrestling, any type of, like, it's like, "We're men," It, there is, like, a homoeroticism that comes out to that, and like, I felt it the first few times watching, uh, Child's Play 3, but watching Doc of Chucky and when they were cutting back to clips as the actor was talking, I'm like, "That does make sense." I, like, see it, and I do really um I enjoy that performance. It's like he's taking a character that just is nothing on the page and really adding as much as he can to it, and it it elevates this movie to, like, a certain degree just because of, this guy. I really enjoyed it. He became my favorite part of this movie, very quickly, and he was someone I enjoyed, to begin with, I'd say.
Yeah, I guess when I watched it, like, the first few times that I watched it, whenever I watched it before, I obviously never picked up on that because I was young, and then just watching it as an adult, I guess I had that mindset still, like, "Oh, he's just bullying him, he's just doing, like, his student job," whatever. Um, Once I watched Doc of Chucky and they did do those playbacks, I was really surprised, and yeah, that opened my eyes a lot more. Even if they played into that, like, oh, Sheldon has his eye on the new boy because he's like, "Oh, this is a new kid here. Maybe there's something there with him," and they tried to feed into that. That could have made a better direction of this movie. I don't know.
I don't even know if it's like he has his eye on him. I think it's almost just like confused like sexuality almost. Like he's like, I'm feeling things for this guy that I don't want to feel, and it could be because of like, there's cases of people, having repressed sexuality, like people who are like very religious or very like conservative where it goes against their ideals or their philosophies, like repressed homosexuality, and it feels like it could be a case of that a little bit. um
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, in terms of when they were all in formation, Sheldon's looking at everybody, and then he just kind of does a double take and goes back to Andy, and then yeah, just
he's feeling
I
things, he's like, ooh.
exactly, exactly. So it's like, why, if that was the case, if they had him openly play a bisexual character, why didn't they add that into the storyline? Even Don Mancini was like more so than what they did. Don Mancini said he was um oh, I can't think of the word. Um he was adding homosexuality to the movie. He used a different word, but he was saying, "Oh, I'm going to start adding that to this," and he was referring to when De Silva puts lipstick on Chucky. But I mean, this is another part too, so it's. I think it's a little surprising that maybe they didn't add that detail. I'm just saying it could have been more interesting.
I don't think they were creative enough to really be able, and they were like pretty pressed for time. Like writing a
True.
script usually takes a very long time. 9 months for a script to be written, a movie to go into production and get edited and filmed, that's like crazy short.
That's
So
insane. Yeah.
I don't think they would have had the time or like judging from like the doc of Chucky and the people that were involved. There were way less creative people involved by the time we get to Child's Play 3. I don't know if they would have had the creativity to really figure out a like tasteful or nuanced way to bring in like a bisexuality or a homosexuality narrative in like the early 90s too. Like
True.
it I don't
It's
know how.
disappointing.
Yeah, it could have been very interesting. Nightmare on Elm Street 2 also has a homosexuality narrative that I'm
Mhm.
pretty interested in checking out. I like little touches of that in my movies, little like personal touches. I find it very interesting. They alluded to the idea of Shelton also having a relationship with the the
De
lady,
Silva. Yeah,
De
De
Silva. That's
Silva.
her name.
Mhm.
Man, that's such a man's name. I feel like I know a De Silva, and he's a man that like plays bass or something like that. I think his name. I'm not gonna
I
say
think
his
you
first
just
name.
want I think you just want everyone to be a man that plays bass, like, just playing the bass, they could be a woman too, you need the bass in there, that's all you need. You're all
Yeah,
about that bass.
exactly. Um, I don't appreciate that reference. I hate that song actually.
No, I hate that song too, honestly. I'll take it back, but I had to throw it in there. I had to throw it in there. Sheldon and Andy would have been a much better couple than Andy and De Silva. My God.
That's so that's actually what I wanted to get to. De Silva is like such a nothing like non-interesting character compared to the two women we've had accompany Andy before. Like
Mhm,
Karen and Kyle fucking rule. They're like
mhm,
two of my favorite like women in like horror, I think. Like women that aren't like the leads of the movie. Like supporting women of horror would be like Kyle and Karen. That might
mhm.
be a dumb statement. I need to thoroughly look at the movies I've seen and the characters that are in them before I fully commit to that. But
No, that's
D-
their names.
De Silva is just a nothing character, and to your point of Shelton and um Andy having like a more interesting relationship, they have better on-screen chemistry,
Yes.
and they kill Shelton off in such a tossed off, annoying way. Like
Oh my god.
they should have had the nerd or De Silva. I think the nerd should have died in that moment. And Shelton and Andy should have teamed up, and there should have been a Shelton redemption. And maybe they should have kissed at the end, who knows? But there should have been a Shelton redeeming story arc, and they should have teamed up to defeat Chucky. And honestly, maybe Shelton should have saved Andy and fully killed Chucky. God, Andy
Yes.
sucks in this movie.
He really does. And also the nerd is named Whitehurst. Get it together. um,
I like nerd better.
Whitehurst.
Dork.
Okay, let's go with dork. So the dork, yes, he had Whitehurst had a better death scene than Sheldon, and that bothered me. Yeah, they were trying to, I don't know, give him a heroic type of death, but
How did he die?
Chucky throws a grenade and he's the only one who sees it because everyone was tending to Sheldon, and then he jumps on it and it blows up.
Fuck
But
that guy.
yeah, I didn't like him. He was a little bitch. Um
They all
and
suck. Everybody.
oh, wait, I forgot one of my other favorite characters in here. The barber.
I thought you hated the barber.
I mean, no, he has some humorous moments, but he's fucking creepy too. He at least adds something else to this film, but he's only in a couple scenes.
Mm.
And even with him, there's like some, you know, just the way he's going up to the students when they're in the mess hall, and he's just like all up on these kids, just like grazing his hand over all their heads to see
It's
if their
very
hair is short enough.
sexual.
Yes, thank you. And even just giving them their haircuts, he's like, yeah, he's so into it. And the creepy part about him outside of that is if you look in his little barber shop there, he has locks of hair from every student that he's cut their hair, and has a picture of them too to match with it. That is fucking creepy. Why is that
And
allowed?
and how come none of them were looking at the camera when he was taking these pictures?
You see what I mean? It's so fucking creepy. Like, at least that was a cooler aspect than anything that Andy had to offer in here. De Silva is like a million years older than Andy. No, age isn't always the main issue, but yeah, there
Damn,
is nothing between them.
just discriminating against older people.
I mean, I'm
Wow.
old. I call myself an old sag all the time. So and I did not make up that nickname. My sister-in-law did. So yeah, old sag. Old sag.
um I would say the deaths in this movie overall are pretty underwhelming and uncreative. Like the barber's death is just a throat slit, I think,
hmm
right? Just nothing
Yeah.
more to it. The garbage man's like arm gets crushed. We don't even see what happens to him. The
hmm
one military guy has like a heart attack and dies. It's
That was so stupid.
this movie just I've already said it a bunch, but it just really lacks the creativity, the panache that the other movies had.
Yeah, at least like other two movies, you have the good storyline of, Andy knowing that Chucky is real and no one believing him. Then that bleeds into the second one where this new family doesn't believe him, but they slowly begin to. Or at least Kyle does at the end. Everyone else doesn't make it past meeting Chucky before they die. And then this one, it's trying to find a new point of view for Chucky, a new person, but I don't know. Tyler, he's just a lame kid. You Why isn't anyone picking on Tyler? I don't know.
Oh, cuz
He
he's I f- I don't I don't know if he comes from a military family. I feel like kids that are in like military school at that young of an age or a military environment usually come from some kind of military family, so I just kind of assumed like he's got a built-in respect from everybody, maybe just for
probably.
being the youngest and having to do what everybody else does. There's an automatic built-in respect, but everybody does handle him with like a kindness or like a grace that they don't handle each other or anybody else with. Tyler's like this untouchable kind of kid. But that that brings me to a point about like Tyler and Andy and Chucky and their whole involvement together. Um they Chucky, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chucky doesn't really have a reason to be going after Andy in this movie, right?
No, he starts to, but then realizes he has a new body, so he can talk to someone else. And that's when Tyler comes into play.
Why doesn't he just leave and just go find anybody else? Go find a baby and like take over a baby, and I don't know, does he do that at any point in these movies? Take over a baby?
No,
D-
they've
does it
all
happen in the
been
TV show?
no, nothing like that. At least not anything that I've seen. But I mean that's true. He's probably just really anxious to get out of his body. Just the first person he talks to, okay, yeah, let's go. Even when he sees Andy and De Silva making out in the woods, he's just like, man, I gotta get out of this body. Um,
Do you think Child's Play 3 is better if he's just is like, "Oh man, I can start over. It's like Andy's too old. I want a young body and to have like a fresh start at life." And it's just him going after a different kid and you just figure out how to do more creative Child's Play stuff. It's the Jurassic Park 3 thing. Just like why I think Jurassic Park 3 works and the others don't. It's just dinosaurs on the island, like hunting people. Nothing too special. No like crazy like plot lines. There's no poachers or like, prehistoric bugs taking over the
mhm.
world. It it just dinosaurs on an island. Why couldn't this just be Chucky after a kid?
Right. And that's what I mean. They were trying to find a different storyline to go with since they pretty much bled out the story with him, Andy and Chucky, but they still leave Andy as a or bring Andy as a character in here. Why? And it's not even the same actor, so there was really no point for him to be in here. So yes, if they had just Chucky realizing I can go into any other person I want now. Um, cool. Let me follow some other random kid I find on the street and just befriend them. That would have been so much better than this. This there was nothing here. I don't like Tyler. I don't know why. Tyler, I think just cuz he was a little older than when we I don't know how old his character is supposed to be, but obviously he's older than what Andy was in the first one. I just like that age for him to start off with because he's so young, he's very naive, Whereas this one, you see him older, you see him in a you see Tyler as an older kid in a military school. You think he would know better. So I don't know that it just didn't work for me.
Also, too, like to the point of Andy being so uninteresting in this one and just being like paper thin, you would think someone that went through the trauma that they went through in the first two movies would be like slightly fucking interesting, like,
Mhm.
or would have like something going on worth
Something.
talking about or exploring. This guy just seems like a fucking boring, put together guy. Like, he doesn't even listen to like music or
Mhm.
like read books. Seemingly, he like is into nothing. It's like, what did you do to cope with your mom being thrown in the mental institute seemingly still? And
Right.
like it just, I mean, you're sent here to this military school. You must have like done some things to end up there outside of the Chucky stuff. I'm sure your life wasn't just completely normal. Like, they don't, this kid should be like fucking John Connor or something, like by Terminator 3 when he's like kind of a loser and like homeless or whatever, being like, "Oh, my mom, Judgment Day and all this. Skynet is coming." Why isn't he at least weirder? It's I know I'm going on and on. It just
No, that's a valid point because you would think, okay, I've been attacked multiple times by a killer doll. My mom was sent away. What do I need to do to protect myself because I know this is going to happen again or if it happens again? You would think he would, I don't know, pick up an obsession with, knives or guns, shooting, some type of self-defense just to make sure he's well prepared. Anything that could relate to him protecting himself from Chucky, and he doesn't even do that.
yeah, where is the H2O or David Gordon Green 2018 Halloween remake where it's like
Exactly.
Andy all these years later just preparing for Chucky or just something. Maybe that is this the movie? Not even Andy. All these years later, it's Karen in the mental institute. And it's
Mhm.
like, what is her deal? Like, she's afraid of Chucky coming back, and she's the one who has to combat. She's like, oh my god, this Charles figure is after me. Um,
Yeah, they could have even tried to follow her, have a little segment of the movie after her in wherever she's at, and just everyone thinking, okay, she's crazy. She's talking about a killer doll and
how is that
something.
not the new Chucky? How did they do a shitty remake and then like all these other Chuckies and not just take the fucking Halloween note? I know The Exorcist just did that with the same guy who did the last Halloween trilogy, and I don't know if you've seen Exorcist Believer, but I thought that movie fucking sucked.
Um, I don't know if I have seen it. Um, I did see another exorcism movie, but I don't remember which one it was.
Was
But
Russell
that
Crowe
one's
in it?
no.
Oh.
So that was not it.
I
Um,
don't, there's two other Exorcist movies with Russell Crowe, so there was a chance of it being a Russell Crowe Exorcist
oh,
movie. Um,
honestly, I don't remember. It was whatever to me. Nothing can beat the original one, obviously.
yeah, so it didn't work out too well when The Exorcist did it, but man, I feel like it would be so easy. Just Karen in the mental institute, maybe she's like getting out, uh, something, and Charles is coming after her. Maybe it's not
Yeah.
even really Charles. Maybe you do a New Nightmare meta take, and it's like, well, that would mean it would be the actress, but uh, something. It just feels like they're missing opportunities here.
Yeah, anything else could have been so much better than this. Even the actors who played Andy and Kyle, Alex Vincent and I can't remember her name, Kyle, they were both surprised that they weren't in cast in this film. They thought they were going to be, but they weren't, and that devastated Alex Vincent. um Christine Elise, that's Kyle's name. She even had such a good experience on Child's Play too. They didn't even follow her. Um and you don't even remember Kyle. Well, you remember Kyle, but they kind of just overlook her in this one, where you at least see Andy showing his little picture of him and his mom from the first one, which I think is adorable. And then he also has that in the second one too. But they don't
And no, sorry, what were you saying?
no, just they don't pay any attention to Kyle in here, which I think that's kind of crappy.
Yeah, Kyle should still be Andy's best friend to this day. Like,
Hmm.
he should make a phone call to Kyle at some point in this movie and be like, I think Chucky's back. And Kyle should show up and fucking help him take down Chucky. Why would they not still have a relationship? Like, she would be the only one that could understand that, you know, this Chucky thing. They're just missed opportunities. Oh man, this movie's such a
Very.
just nothing movie. It's not even like worth being mad about. It's just a bummer of a production all around. Okay, so yeah, Bride of Chucky comes out in 1998. That and this is 91. So 7 years in between. It just there's a little bit of breathing room. I I have more faith that Bride of Chucky is going to do something something worth coming back to the pod and being excited about.
Yeah, this one, it's at least with Bride of Chucky, they bring Jennifer Tilly in and she adds a whole different spin to it. And I just realized that the women in Andy's life from the first to the third one, they all have names that start with a K. Like Andy's mom is Karen in the first one. Then you have Kyle in the second, and then De Silva's real name is, I think, Kristen. Yeah, Kristen. So a lot of K's, and then you go to Tiffany, who's a T. So, but
Yeah.
Andy's not in this one. So
Sounds like they had pretty lazy writers then. No, it's the
very,
same
especially in this one.
it's the same writer across all three. I forgot the guy's name, but he like there was a rights dispute on the first one, so he like may or may not have like fully written the first movie. I think he only wrote like 30 or 40% of it, but yeah, this guy stuck around. I wonder if he went on to write the other movies. I'm gonna look it up actually. Um, how are you feeling about Bride of Chucky? You think I have some stuff to look forward to in that one?
I think you do. I enjoy that movie. I
Oh, it's the same writer, Don Mancini, wrote Bride of Chucky. It looks like he wrote
mhm
all of these basically. He just
mhm
stuck around.
yeah. Bride of Chucky, it's definitely a lot better than this. I I think we'll both be able to agree on that. But yeah, I think you'll at least have some fun with Bride of Chucky compared to how this one was, which was just a slow ride. Can't even call it a slow burn just because it's boring in this one. There was nothing that kept you on the edge of your seat, nothing that interested you. Um None of the death scenes were great in here. So at least Bride of Chucky, like you're saying, they had breathing room. They had some time to just think things over. It's definitely a refreshing start back into Chucky.
Now, what about these kills? Do you think we have some better kills to look forward to?
They're amusing kills, yes. So I think you'll enjoy these kills a lot more than the other ones. Even with the characters you don't like in um Bride of Chucky, I think that they still have better kills than this one.
All of my expectations going forward are pretty low,
Good.
and yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but good.
Okay. I think it's gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be more juice, just more to talk about going forward than in Child's Play 3. This movie just sucks. This is the most deadly serious episode we've recorded. Not a
Mhm.
single joke was allowed on this
Mhm.
episode.
Nope, not
Yeah.
at all.
And
We're
we
we're
all know, it's been released from our people heard it on Child's Play. Mercedes is a joke teller. She prides
what?
herself in being a teller of jokes. S
I wish.
But in
My
this
jokes are
episode
very bad. My jokes
this
are terrible, but yes, this episode, what can I joke about? This movie is a joke on its own.
it's we decided this was gonna be a mournful episode. We're mourning the loss of, Alex Vincent. He's not dead,
Mhm.
but he's just not in these movies anymore.
Mhm.
Mourning the loss of Karen and Kyle. Just anything good the first 2 Child's Play had out locations, colors, um,
Mhm. This
yeah.
movie was just lame, but it it does bring me back to my horrific time in high school in ROTC. And I
Oh,
think that
nice.
was yeah, I think that was the only reason why I kind of like this film. Just because when I was a freshman, I was in ROTC and I joined all the extracurriculars. So I was a nerd. I was a Whitehurst at that point. But there was one team that I was on. It was color guards. So you have the two flag bearers and or yeah, the two flag bearers and then the two rifle bearers. Um, so there was always four of us. I was supposed to be on the B team. The A team was a senior, some juniors, some sophomores, whatever. No one ever wanted to participate for B team. Everyone kept, quitting or not coming to practice. So they moved me up to A team. I'm all nervous because I'm the only freshman there. And they pretty much just kept it like that. So I was always with them, but I was super fucking insecure about everything. So this was kind of giving me a little bit of confidence boost. The color guard commander, she graduated that following year. So when we were all sophomores, some of my peers, they were getting promoted, and everyone thought I was going to get the position. Oh, you're going to be the color guard commander, right? Yeah, I know. The day came and they gave that position to another guy in the class. Let's call him Tad. And I had no
It's
idea why.
always a tad.
I was going to say Chad. I don't know
It's
why I keep like
it's
doing the
oh
AD thing.
always a Chad.
It's always a Chad. Okay, let's call him Rad then.
Always a
So
rad. I'll
I
re-edit
know.
it anyway to where it sounds like it was one take.
Yeah. So, um, so he got the position. He even asked me like, "Why didn't you get that role?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't know."
The
So I
the
went up
patriarchy.
exactly. I went up to our master chief and I asked, "Hey, is there any reason why I didn't get the color guard commander position?" And he just looks me dead in the eye with a friendly face, and it just pissed me off even more. He's like, "Well, you were in line to get that position. However, the national flag needs to stand taller than the organizational flag." And I looked at him like, "So I didn't get the job because I'm short? Thanks." And I quit after that.
Discrimination. And
Really.
listeners, just a little peek behind the curtain of Mercedes' life. That's the day when she got kicked out of our high school for replacing the paint bullets with real bullets um, at the
I
ROTC
fucking
capture
wish.
the flag game.
Dude, that would have been so fucking cool. I would have done I should have done something like that. Just
Only a
go out with
couple
a bang.
people, a literal bang. On-
Literally.
Only a couple people got shot, but that was normal for our high school. So, you know, it just,
Everyone always made it seem like our high school was terrible.
yeah,
And I mean,
it
I
was.
didn't have a great time in high school. Like I would never want to relive that shit, but yeah.
I had fun in high school. Our high school wasn't that bad. There were some times near the end of the year where like shit would hit the fan and like
Mhm.
there would be like a lockdown or something that happened like my freshman year. The school went into full lockdown when I came in late. I got dragged into class by my health teacher. There was like a kid in handcuffs, like a big kid in handcuffs on the floor by an officer, like a pool of blood on the ground. It looked like his face got bashed in. I was like,
Oh shit.
yeah, there were officers running through the building. It was like wild. But that was like a very like rare occurrence at our people acted like that was every day.
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2009, the end of 2009. Not the
Okay.
end of the calendar year, but the end of the 2009 school year, 2008, 2009 school year.
Okay. So I was still there then, but I don't
Yeah,
remember
you would have been a
that.
sophomore, I think. I was a freshman.
I was a junior. Or wait, no, at the end of the yeah, I would have been a junior.
A junior, weren't you in? I guess I'll bleep the name. First grade.
No.
Oh, you were a year above. Okay, so yeah, you would have
Yeah.
been a junior. Okay,
Yeah. See, I told you I'm fucking old. Oh my god. Rough.
damn.
S-
I
What
I
a way to
understand.
fucking bring me back. Thanks, Nicholas.
Happy birthday. Um,
He's such an
that
asshole.
that was our callback. A callback to our birthday episode we had for you a
Oh my
couple weeks
god.
ago. Um, yeah, that explains the cataract surgery you just had recently and the hip
My knee pain,
replacement.
my back pain. I hate all these young kids except Andy. I hate everyone for that matter except for Andy.
Oh man, if it makes you feel any better, I like feel like I almost threw out my back at the gym yesterday and I didn't even go that hard on my back. I was keeping it light and like didn't hurt my I don't even think it was the workout. I think I like bent weird at the gym like
I was
after
gonna
the workout.
yeah, I was gonna ask, were you just trying to bend over to grab something and
Yes,
that's
I
gonna
I think I went to pick up the spray bottle, the like cleaner I had on the ground um and
it was too
like
heavy.
pinched something. Yeah, that was yeah, I'm
You're what the people in SpongeBob call a weenie hut junior.
damn. I know I use the colorful dumbbells. Um
Exactly.
yeah.
They're the pretty ones. There's no
Yeah,
shame in that.
exactly.
Good
Oh,
times, good times.
I like that.
I
Oh man.
love it. Yeah,
Um
moral of the story, we're old.
yeah, we're dying. Once you hit not even like 30, it was like once I hit 31, it was just like oh, kidney failure and prostate cancer, you know.
Just
Not that
waking
I
up every day. This is the end.
Yeah, not that I have those things, but that's what I'm afraid of. I feel like that's creeping around the corner.
Yeah, everything is just slowly creeping up and now all I see are those memes where they're saying, the little scrolly icon that you need to navigate to find your date of birth or your year of birth. It's kind of taking longer to find my year of birth and I'm not digging that at all.
Yeah, it's like kind of rude that they start in the most current year. Like just start at 2000, make that the default year so I only have to scroll up a little bit, the same amount every time.
We get it, Nick. You're younger than me. You don't gotta keep rubbing it in my face.
Barely younger. I wasn't born in 2000, if that's what it sounded like I was saying.
No, I know that, but I'm still
I
the old
remember
sag here.
I remember 9/11. That's the big thing. Kids these days not knowing
Yeah,
9/11. Mhm.
unfortunately, that is true. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was just weird though in high school.
9/11? Oh.
No. No,
Was
just
weird.
I mean, that was strange, but I remember that day and I was definitely not in high school. I think I was in like 5th grade. God, that's a long time ago. But no, in high school, I wasn't even hanging out with people that were in my grade. Once I was a sophomore, junior, I was either with people that no, it was usually like people that were younger than me. Like I had some friends that were my age, but it was usually people that were younger than me. So that kind of makes me feel really fucking old. That
I
just proves
always
my point.
I always hung out with older people. I've always gravitated towards older people. When I was a freshman in high school, 14 or 15, I was playing in a band with dudes in their 40s. I always wanted to be a part of the older kids
well,
club.
well, I did too, but no one liked me. I was forced to be with like the older crowd in ROTC, but once I quit, maybe that was the reason that set me back. I don't fucking know. But yeah, the it was an interesting time in high school. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I
Mhm.
did, that was some time.
I man, we'll have to do like a horror movie set in high school
That'd be
thing,
cool. Mhm.
and then we'll just have to talk about like compare high school experience of like the faculty or like I don't know
Yeah.
if Jennifer's Body counts, but like just movies set in high school. Do a mini series on that. Maybe I'll do that as my next pick.
That could be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
something weird.
there's Carrie, there's Ginger Snaps, Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah. But I want to save
Heather's, is
that.
that horror?
Uh, not really, but I mean, we could probably segue into that. Wow, I haven't seen that in a long ass time too.
I haven't fully seen it. I bought it though. I started watching and then I was too tired and I was like, I gotta revisit this eventually.
I love how you buy a lot of movies and you haven't watched it or watched them in their entirety.
If there's a good enough sell on a movie, I'll buy it. This film critic, Amy Nicholson, I think it was, she rated it very high. I think 5 out of 5, and she's a critic that my tastes don't always line up with. But when I see someone rate something 5 out of 5, um, especially someone who doesn't give out 5-star ratings that often, I really get curious. Like, what is a 5-star movie to this person? It feels like a
Mm,
good peek into their personality. So Heather's shot
true.
up to the list of like movies I really want to watch. That's why I really like movie recommendations too, where it's not just people um telling me what they like and telling me what to watch it. I like movie recommendations where people are like, I saw this and you came to mind. I always want to be like, ooh, what like
Yeah,
what was going on in your head that made me come to mind with this? And I always want like a
true.
little peek into what's going on with them. Uh but yeah, I really like different I don't know. I like people's relationships to movies, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
same. Like I love it when people are telling me, "Oh, you need to watch this movie because it's so fucked up or it scared me." And I'm like, "And you thought of me?" Like, okay. Um, but yeah, every time. Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to think of movies that I've shown my husband, and they were like very meaningful or impactful for me. And then when he watched it, he was just like, whatever with it. And I had one in mind, and now I can't remember. Oh
yeah,
my
so
god.
that was a conversation we didn't record, but
Right, I
um
remember that.
do you wanna do that, or do you wanna save that? We could talk about that in Bride of Chucky movie
But
because that's a movie I have expectations for. This is a movie I had expectations for, and they were destroyed, like, smothered.
Mhm.
So, I now have different expectations for Bride of Chucky. I'm hopeful, though. I feel like it's gonna be enjoyable. But if you wanna, like, try and think about it, we could have this expectation talk, movies that maybe didn't live up to expectations of other people. It 'cause
Okay,
that
yeah.
that for, like, the listeners, what kind of sparked that, is, like, the expectations that have kind of been set up for me going into these movies because Mercedes really values some of them and how disappointing it would be if I didn't really enjoy them, and, that kind of got me thinking about, like, movies in particular that I'm like, I really would be disappointed if someone I cared about didn't like them. So,
Mhm.
like, we'll re remember that. We'll touch on that for Bride of Chucky if we can.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I remember one of the movies, but I really wanna think about it to make sure because I was just so surprised at his reaction after, like, "What? You didn't like this?" But okay, yeah, we'll save that for Bride of Chucky.
Plus 2, I assume since that's this movie expectation thing, like, at least your story is related to your husband, Bride of Chucky, I have a feeling we may dive into the parallels of your marriage, you know?
Yeah, probably. There's some similarities in there that, I have pointed out to him that he just looks at me and sighs. So
Like,
that'll
is your husband a doll? And are you currently a doll and were you once a human? The
no,
listeners
but
can't see us, so they don't know who I'm talking to right now. So you could very well be a doll.
this is true. But I have shared the little meme where spoil like a little spoiler for Bride of Chucky where you have Tiffany holding like her candle in the Voodoo Doll for Dummies book or the Voodoo for Dummies book, and you see Chucky just on the ground and she's getting ready to, say the infamous chant. And there was like a caption like me and whatever my girlfriend or wife tells me to do or some shit, and I've sent that to him and it's pretty valid. So, yeah, crazy shit.
Nice. Nice.
Crazy shit, crazy shit. So,
I'm e I'm excited to hear about it. That would be wild if you watch it and you're like, "Wow, this movie is actually a one for one, like, our entire relationship."
I mean, we do have some spats, and there's just one scene that like I'll go into once we cover it, and I don't
Oh,
know. It's like funny to me, but I feel like to you it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, women. So I don't
are
know.
they a fighty couple, Chucky and his bride? I don't even know her name yet. I'm gonna
Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, right. True. I do know her name.
I was like, "Wait, what?"
I do. You're right.
No, it's okay. I have funny enough, apparently I have plenty of those moments with my husband. He says something or he claims he says something and I won't know what he's talking about and he's like, "I've said that." No, you did not. Or maybe you have and I just really can't remember. But yes, they have some moments where they argue, they get a little feisty with each other, so it's very amusing. They have a better relationship than Andy and De Silva in this movie, so
Yeah, and their quote unquote relationship. Oh man.
God, that was so terrible. I'm sorry, I keep dragging us back into that, but it really grinds my gears. They sucked. So the fact that they take this leap into a new direction was a smart choice.
I'm ready for it. I hope
Hell yeah.
you guys are ready for it too, listeners. I hope you guys listen to this episode too.
Yes, it
Thank
wasn't the
you.
most yeah, this movie wasn't the most fun to watch. If you've seen it, then you get where we're coming from, but we fucking hated this movie. I
Yeah.
hated this movie. I don't think Nick hated it as much as I did, but it wasn't a
I
great watch.
there I did write down that there is something I find charming about a bad horror sequel. We can save that for a different Chucky movie though. I wanna we'll save that for one of these bad movies that I enjoy. I want to enjoy a Chucky movie that everybody hates. I want to like really connect with one, like Cult of Chucky or The Science of Chucky, whatever the names are, and just be like, I love this one, you know.
Well,
Or love is a
we'll
strong
see.
word. I want to be
Yeah,
like,
we'll see.
I had fun with this one. I want one to be like, yeah, this is like so it's just dumb fun or something. Maybe Bride of Chucky will be that. Um,
Yeah, Bride of Chucky, it doesn't have amazing moments, but it has moments where you're just that was so dumb, but you can laugh about it.
mhm.
So, yeah, that could be described as dumb fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll like it. You'll like it.
I do like too that I'm not even considering that Seed of Chucky might be slightly enjoyable. I'm in my head. I'm like, all right, we have a chance for a good movie, then we have another bad movie, and then we have chances at more good movies after Seed of Chucky. Um,
I will say nothing that I want to say.
I've
I'm
got
trying to keep that to myself.
Seed of Chucky traumatized me as a kid, so I got a story behind that I've been possibly overhyping. Do you want to again thank the listeners for listening to this all the way through? Uh it feels good to know that we've knocked out our worst episode and we don't
The
have to
worst
worry about
episode
it.
so far.
I think we yeah, good point. I think we should just be like, okay, Child's Play 3, we dedicated that's our dedicated worst episode. Maybe our most on topic episode too.
Right, like, we did not stray away from this movie. Any, like, future episodes where it's so bad, we could just be like, "Was it as bad as Child's Play 3?" And it
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be the episode of Child's Play 3. Was it as bad as the movie Child's Play 3?
I almost texted you this morning saying like, "Hey, let's be forgiving of ourselves if we just can't find things to talk about. Like maybe this is just our tangent episode and we explain that like I put a disclaimer at the beginning and
Mhm.
we just fucking ripped this movie to shreds like for 50 minutes straight."
Oh, shit, yeah, we did. I didn't even
Yeah.
know if we'd be able to last that long on it, so, yeah, kudos to us, we did it.
Hell yeah,
Thanks to us, we did it.
these two old bags. One is slightly older than the other. One slightly more youthful old bag.
Why did you have to fucking go there?
You did it first. I just brought it back around.
And you're living in the past. We moved on from that shit. Why did you go back there? I see how it really is, Nick. I see how
I
it is.
I thought it would be a lighthearted. No, I don't. I mean,
Don't talk to
reg-
me no more.
regardless of our age, we still have beautiful voices that the people love.
Sure, if you believe that, I believe in you.
Beautiful voices. Remember to rate us 5 stars, regardless of how you feel about our voices.
We are morbid curiosities.
Yeah.